Robbie McEwen has done it again.
Yeah, I think I was born competitive. There's probably no other way to describe it or no other way to justify it.
Robbie McEwen, the man from nowhere, welcome home.
I love a competition. I love being in a race. I'm just a born racer, I guess.
It's true that Robbie McEwen never wanted to do anything else. While the Queensland pocket rocket has always been propelled by pedal power, it was the family car that copped a hammering as the young star made his way through the ranks.
We didn't have the means to travel the world to World Championships and everything, but I mean they did everything for us. So we did every single state to go to National BMX Championships, and living in Queensland, you're travelling sometimes 2,500 kilometres just to go to a state championships.
That support, coupled with his fierce determination and drive, ensured he'd stand the heat racing with Europe's big guns. Over a professional career spanning more than 15 years, he'd be crowned the world's best sprinter, winning the Tour de France green jersey 3 times.
When I first got up there, I mean, I'd seen pictures of other guys standing there and thinking, how good must that be, to win as a sprinter, the holy grail, to win on the Champs-Elysees in the green jersey. And in 2002 I was able to do that, and it felt almost surreal. I'd been battling Eric Sabel for weeks for that green jersey. He'd won it 6 times, and there's a lot of stress, and I was absolutely exhausted. When I finished, I was just relieved, but to stand there then and soak it up with all those hundreds of thousands of people lining the Champs-Elysees up on that stage, the Arc de Triomphe in the background, it was a magic moment and just one I'll never forget.
That's the glamorous side, but only the toughest survive in this sport, where crashes lurk around every corner. So how do these sleep-deprived, stressed and strained athletes keep going?
There's 2 options. You dust yourself off, you get back on and you make it to the finish line, you start again the next day, or you go home, you're out of the tour, you're forgotten and you feel not very good about it. You'd be sitting at home hating yourself for pulling out and not trying.
His new book, One Way Road, is an amazing insight into life in the peloton, and in particular McEwen's speciality of sprinting.
So as you're coming into those final kilometres, it's all about saving your energy, taking the right position, being prepared to fight for that position, and some days even being prepared to take the risks that might see you sliding across the asphalt at 60k an hour and not even making it to that final 200 metres.
The most productive years of his career were spent at the Belgian-based Lotto team between 2002 and 2008. He was the main man, with the entire team built around delivering McEwen's stage wins. But in the final 2 years of his time there, the arrival of Cadel Evans changed the dynamic, with stage wins sliding down the priority list.
I played a part in him coming to the team. I said this is a guy who realistically can ride to finish on the podium in a Grand Tour, and who knows, maybe one day win the Tour de France. And in a way, in the end, that sort of worked against my ambitions, but it was the right thing to do. It was the honest thing to do, to say, there is a guy who can do it.
There's no ill will between the two, though, and McEwen insists they're good mates. He describes Evans as high maintenance and a meticulous planner, but not exactly one of the boys.
He's not the sort of guy who has a great big circle of mates and, down the pub, my shout next, come on fellas, but he's a good guy. But he absolutely lives for his sport and has a small circle of people who are very close to him.
Being closer to home is what's important to McEwen now. He's currently in the process of relocating his life from Belgium to the Gold Coast. The 39-year-old will ride with the Australian Green Edge team until the end of May, and will then become one of the coaches as the fledgling outfit tries to make its mark on the world's biggest races. He's also going to be keeping an eye on his 9-year-old son Ewan, who's intent on following in Dad's footsteps.
He's told me he's going to be a pro bike rider, so he's got his bikes, his BMX, his mountain bike, his road bike, and he's telling me he's planning to start racing soon, and he's right into it.